Today we're going to talk about one of this century's most influential designers, Sir Jonathan Ive. During this presentation, we will go through the key dates of Ive's career and present an overview of his work to date before giving our opinion on his tops and flops.
On January 27, 1967, Jonathan Ive was born in London. In 1989, he graduated from Newcastle Polytechnic and was hired by Tangerine. In 1992, he joined Apple. In 1996, he became head of design. In 2005, he was named SVP of Industrial Design. Then, in 2012, he became SVP of Global Design. And in 2015, the function of Chief Design Officer was created for him. In 2019, he left Apple and found Love From with Mark Newson.
At Apple, design flourished when Steve Jobs made a comeback in 1996. The iMac G3 and the iBook explored curves and the use of transparency and translucency. Rather than making more white boxes, Jobs was convinced that the insides of the computers were beautiful enough to be showcased to the world. Ive's design efforts went into making computers sexy again. The iPods flew off the shelves and gave Apple a household name. They changed people's way of listening to music and truly made Jobs stand out as a visionary and cemented Ive's role in the company. There is visible inspiration from Dieter Rams, whose design language at Brown truly began influencing Ive's work at the time. The philosophy of form following function and the liberal use of white are all owed to the German designer. The iPhone also revolutionized its domain. As you can see, the iPhone and its contenders at the time had nothing in common. When it came out, it really stood out by its sleekness and the fact that one device could gather everything. And these are the points that Apple has kept on improving for almost 15 years now. Over the years, and with all the bestsellers he has designed for Apple, Johnny Ive has managed to create a true formal ecosystem to which no one can be indifferent. Although he is most famous for his work at Apple, Johnny Ive has also worked for other brands. In conjunction with Australian designer Mark Newson, he designed a one-of-a-kind Leica M, which was auctioned off in November 2013 for $1.8 million. It was a partnership with Red to help fund programs for HIV and AIDS. This camera has a lot of recognizable Ive touches. The laser-machined aluminum body and anodized aluminum outer shell strongly resemble the Mac Pro, Apple's most advanced desktop computers. Also evident is simplicity. Just like the iPod was criticized for lacking features its competitors offered, Ive's Leica focuses on the basics and has less features than the normal Type 240 Leica M. Internet connectivity, text messaging, voice control, and fitness tracking. These are standard features found not only on today's smartphones but accessible on your wrist as well. In September 2014, the Apple Watch was presented by CEO Tim Cook. Lots of technology packed into an incredibly simple and pure design. The original Apple Watch came in 38 and 42mm sizes and featured Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. The stainless steel case of the watch included a digital crown, a side button, an optical heart sensor, and a touchscreen with multi-touch, force touch, and digital touch. On this particular project, Ive has really emphasized the customizable aspect and insisted on the fact that everyone deserves a watch that meets his needs. For example, the Apple Watch for Sport was made to appeal to athletes, with an aluminum build and fluoroelastomer bands. This model and all the others of the range have kept on improving for even greater customer satisfaction. This made the Apple Watch the #1 best-selling piece of wearable tech on the planet.
The iMac G4 is an iMac-type computer launched by Apple in January 2002 with prices ranging from $1,299 to $1,799. It's the successor to the iMac G3, an all-in-one computer that focuses on simple transports and getting started. It's topped by a swiveling flat screen with an articulated arm, which earned it its nickname of iMac Tournesol. This idea came to Steve Jobs over a conversation with his designer in a garden where he evoked sunflower as a source of inspiration. You simply have to plug in the power cord, keyboard and mouse to make it functional. Its new desk lamp-like shape pleases very much or not at all. Because of its price and lack of power, the iMac G4 becomes more of a fashion accessory. It's also an interesting alternative to iMac G3 in educational circles. This product reveals the creativity of Jonathan Ive, but also the strength of his collaboration with Steve Jobs. Its design surpasses technical problems and leaves room for innovations still present today and new at the time, such as a flat screen and simple and efficient installation.
When you prioritize form over function on something as complex as a computer, you fail. That is what happened with the butterfly keyboard. The butterfly keyboard appeared in April 2015 when it replaced the traditional scissor mechanism on the 12-inch MacBook Pro. The British designer chose to make an entire keyboard full of buttons that resulted in a more aesthetically pleasing design with shorter travel and a thinner overall laptop. He wanted the same bounce with flatter keys and managed to make it 40% thinner. But this led to issues such as characters that don't appear or repeat and keys that get stuck with a bit of dust. This controversial design choice to gain a few inches caused a lot of problems and forced Apple to set up a free reparation program that cost them a lot. It nearly wrecked an entire generation of Apple's laptops, and this is why 5 years later they finally decided to step backwards and put back the original scissor mechanism on this year's MacBook Pro.
Apple's second-generation Magic Mouse is elegant, thin, wireless, and brings together many technologies with a touch surface on top. However, it's not especially convenient to use, and above all, it recharges upside down. The lightning port used to reload the mouse is located below the latter, necessarily forcing us to turn around the device to reload it, and thus preventing us from using it while it reloads. Johnny Ive preferred to make his mouse as simple as possible, but once again, the design seems to have taken precedence over the function.